a little before you have to go. So this is a song that gladdens the heart. And I find that if I can't get myself to do anything else, if I'm really feeling stuck, feeling a lot of grief or any other difficult emotion, I pull out my harmonium and I sing. So I'll do the first round, and then feel free to join in on the second round. You're also welcome to simply listen or do a restorative pose while you allow yourself to be bathed by the sound. And today, let's do mother, father, children as the folks to lift up as well as each other. Humble yourself in the sight of the Father. You gotta get down low and humble yourself in the sight of the Father. You gotta get down low, and we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher. So all together with Father. Humble yourself in the sight of the Father. You gotta bend down low and humble yourself at the sight of the Father. You gotta know what He knows, and we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher, humble yourself in the sight of the Mother. You gotta get down low and humble yourself in the sight of the Mother. You gotta know what she knows, and we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher, humble yourself in the sight of the children. You gotta bend down low and humble yourself in the sight of the children. You gotta get down low, and we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher, a little softer, we shall lift each other up. Higher and higher we shall lift each other up. Resting within the resonance of the chant. Allowing ourselves to be healed from the vibrations from the inside out. And whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. Make sure you're comfortable, seated, standing, lying, all good. So behind me, I have, you can probably see, let's see, so you can see all of it. I've got this picture of Ganesh that I got when I went to Bali in 2012. And Ganesh is the lord of obstacles, also the remover of obstacles, depending on what he or the forces of the universe determine that we might need at the time. So sometimes he puts obstacles right in the middle of our path so that we can feel a little more soul growth. And then sometimes the universe is just stripping obstacles out of our way. So we can have more soul growth and serve. And then also, it's so nice because this is the stuff I don't get to do when we're in the studio. I don't get to show you the paintings and stuff I have in my house that I've gathered. And this is a smaller Ganesh, which some of you know, the Sapna. She mostly comes to the Thursday POC yoga, but she gave this to me for my wedding as a wedding present, and her grandmother gave it to her from India. So it's really special to me. So this is another Ganesh that I hold close. You'll see he has an elephant head and trunk, and kind of like the windiness of the trunk represents the windiness of this path that we're on, the path of awakening, the path of liberation, that it's not ever quite linear, and that each twist and turn of the path has a great lesson for us. So we'll practice in this way, is bringing mindfulness to the obstacles in our body as a microcosm for, I don't know about you, but I've been feeling a lot of obstacles in my everyday life to illuminate the path in that way. So with that, please come to hands and knees. You may like to pad your knees with a blanket. And in a moment, I'm going to spotlight Raj's video. Raj has so kindly agreed to demo for us today, fellow yoga teacher. You may like to bring soft fists to the floor as an alternative to stabilize around your wrists, or maybe palms to the earth, spreading your fingers, spreading your toes. On an inhale, dropping your belly, lifting your chest and your head for cow pose. And exhale to round your spine, relaxing the muscles of the face. Inhale to arch, feel the space between tail and crown. And exhale to round your spine and let the head go. And please continue your rhythm. Inhale begins, movement begins. Exhale begins, movement begins. Noticing what feels open, spacious, connected in the body. And also noticing what feels stuck, tired, painful. With the same tenderness, with the same curiosity, we open to the tension and the pleasure in the body. Next time you float through center, let's meet there. Stretch your right leg back behind you. And plant the toes on the earth, and you can keep the leg right there. I'd recommend that for more sensitive low backs, or you can start to slide the foot over to the left. I might even cross the left leg. As you weight evenly through the hands, take a deep lengthening breath. Slide your chest forward, and then bring your shoulders and your head also over to the left, like you were trying to check out your foot. You might feel that your right hip slump down towards the ground, and the sides of the waist slump down. So lift up on the sides of the waist like you're doing a little bit of a cat pose. Drop your tail and see if you can level out the hips. Take one more deep round of breath here. And slowly come back through center. And on an inhale, stretch left leg back behind you. You're staying here, sliding the foot over to the right. Might be millimeters in some bodies. Inhale for length. Exhale to turn shoulders and head over to the right. And take some deeper breaths through the left lung, through the left rib cage, and feel the length from your back heel all the way to the crown of your head. Slowly come back to fours, both knees on the floor. Breathing in, stretch right arm wide, maybe up toward the sky. And as you exhale, slide the arm right behind the left wrist. So you come down onto your whole right arm. If it's available, come high up onto your left fingertips. Draw your left shoulder blade onto your back. And as you exhale, turn belly, chest, maybe even the head turned toward the sky. And feel free to bring the left arm in any shapes that feel good. So Raj has brought her arm. Raj, I just realized I assume you use she, her pronouns. So feel free to correct me. Okay, I got a thumbs up. So the arm overhead, you can also stretch the arm toward the sky. And take one more deep round of breath through the mid-back, the sides of the ribs. And then slowly plant the left hand back to the floor and press down to come back to fours. Breathing in, stretch left arm wide, maybe up toward the sky. And exhale to twist. Inhale for length. You might even slide the left arm and the chest further away from the legs. Exhale to twist open, laying the right shoulder on the back. And feel free to stretch the right arm in any shapes that feel good. Make sure your neck feels supported here. That might mean you have to slide a block or a blanket underneath your head. Each round of breath, filling up from the bottom up, like your torso with a glass of water. Slowly come back to fours. Lower your forearms to the earth and interlace your fingers, checking that your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Slide your knees back a couple of inches. And I'm going to give you lots of options here. One option would be to stay right here. Another option would be to stretch one leg back for several breaths. Switching legs after 5 to 7 breaths or so. And some people might lift both knees away from the floor. Deepen your breath. Often our first obstacle in our practice is our mind. Our mind has an aversion perhaps to practicing or an aversion to building heat. So you might gently notice that, name that. And stretch from the sit bones back through the heels as you stretch from your low belly forward through the crown of the head. One more deep round of breath here. Lower the knees to the earth. And rest, child's pose. Anytime in this practice, feel free to rest right here in child's pose or in any other shape. You're welcome to skip shapes, maybe stay in shapes longer that feel right for you. We're living in abnormal times, so it's quite possible that the body does not feel normal. And we can meet that with a lot of tenderness and compassion. This also means that, 21 different people in class today, including myself, so 21 different nervous systems, 21 different lengths of bones, different life experiences. So it's impossible for me to offer something that's right for every person. So I'm really trusting, and I'm inviting you to trust, to listen to your own body wisdom. And you'll notice that even though Raj is the demo person, she will also be doing that for herself. Slowly rise back up through hands and knees. And slide your knees back a couple of inches. And lift your hips up and back for a bent knee, downward facing dog. With your legs deeply bent, lift your heels up and away from the floor. Not only does this start to build some strength in the legs, it also starts to rest the femur heads and the pelvis, which sends a message to the nervous system that it's okay to rest and heal. Keeping your legs like this, stretch from your heart down and out through your hands, or stretch up and back through your hips. And from here, you might slowly straighten through both legs. Maybe bend through one leg and stretch through your opposite heel, pulsing, wiggling, moaning in any ways that feel good to you. Find a neutral dog, please. Inhale, stretch long through your spine. Exhale, walk your feet up towards your hands, standing forward fold. Inhale, half lift, spreading your toes, firming the front of your thighs. Exhale, fold back in, touching earth, block, legs. Inhale, half lift, lifting the belly towards the crown. And exhale to fold in. Inhale, half lift, extending your spine. And as you exhale and fold, see if you can keep some of that length. This time, let's all bend our knees as we inhale and stand all the way up. Reach up. And as you straighten your legs, exhale and release the palms to the heart. I invite you to create an intention for our time together in POC yoga. It might be similar to what I'm offering, this curiosity and mindfulness around obstacles, or maybe there's something else that you're enlivening, you're releasing, you're centering. And imagine you're holding it right in between your palms and breathing life into it. Release your hands, release your breath. Breathing in, reach for the sky. And as you exhale, bend your knees and fold, seating your intention into the earth. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees, step your left leg back, lower your left knee to the earth. Inhale to reach your arms alongside your ears, squeezing your legs in towards each other. Exhale, plant your hands downward facing dog. Feel free to rest here or in child's pose and skip any of the planks. Well, you're welcome to meet back up with us before we move on. Or inhale like a wave, move forward to plank pose. Lower your knees to the earth for the first one and pause. Squeeze around your outer shoulder blades, line the head up to the back of the spine. Lean forward slightly, and as you exhale, lower down with control, staying connected to your feet. Push off your feet, inhaling into cobra. And on an exhale, tuck your toes, lift from your hips, downward facing dog. If you're in some other shape, please meet us in down dog. Breathing in, stretch left leg up and back behind you. Exhale to plant the foot by the left hand. Lower the back knee. Inhale to reach for the sky. Arms can be bent or straight. Your exhale, plant your hands to the earth. And pour weight under the ball of the left foot to step the right leg forward. Standing forward fold. Inhale, half lift, offer our hearts to each other. Exhale and fold, stretch your tailbone long. Inhale to rise out of the power of earth. Exhale, release your palms to the heart, dropping back in to your intention. Breathing in, reach for the sky. Exhale and fold. Option to stretch your hands wide and down as you do this. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees, step right leg back this time, right knee to the earth. Inhale to reach for the sky, optional back bend there. Exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. Inhaling, plank pose. Exhale to lower down with the option to plant knees to the earth. Inhale, cobra, maybe up dog as an option. Exhale, downward facing dog, drawing navel to the back body. Each exhale, drawing navel to the back body. And not only will this protect your low back and your hips, but it also starts to move stagnant energy, which from the perspective of yoga, we tend to get stuck in the second and the third chakra, and that blocks the energies of the heart. From downward facing dog, inhale, stretch right leg up and back behind you. Exhale to plant the foot by the right hand, lower the back knee. Inhale to circle the arms wide into the sky. Use the whole exhale to come into standing forward fold. On an inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold, drawing navel to the back body. Push down through your feet in order to reach for the sky. Exhale, release your palms to the heart in honor of the generosity within your own heart, in honor of the resilience of your own heart. This heart mind, which has the capacity to open to all experience and not be limited by it. Come to standing in the middle of your mat, please. And separate your feet wider apart. It might be just a little wider than your hips if you've got sensitive joints, or it can be almost as wide as maybe as like a warrior two stance. And then spin your toes out. With your hands at your hips, start with bending your legs a little bit and just checking that your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. And once you've got that, you might sit down deeper in the legs, hugging your legs in towards each other, as if you were trying to scrunch up the middle of your mat. Now, lean forward a little bit, stick your booty out behind you. Call this a Buddhasana. And then lengthen your tailbone and start to come more upright, lifting your shoulders over your hips. If that doesn't give you more back pain or neck pain, lengthening your tail so you can lift and activate your low belly. And then from here, bring your hands out in front of you in these little cups. And then bring your left hand in front of your right, and then bring that right into the heart. This is called Ganesh Mudra, a gesture which not only fortifies the heart in all the ways that we think about that. So just physically strengthening the heart and also emotionally and spiritually. It also calls upon our capacity to work with obstacles. Deepen your breath. Of course, the irony about working with obstacles is that we have to experience obstacles in order to remember our resilience and strengthen our resilience. Keep the legs as they are. Switch the hands, please. And you're acting as though you were trying to pull the hands apart. And for some people, when I say that, we tend to get very aggressive. So not so much that you're feeling it inside the shoulder joint, but enough that you might be building some heat and feeling some strengthening across your chest. Is it possible to be in the shape and soften inwardly towards yourself? Soften the shoulders out of the ears. Relax the tongue. And then slowly release your arms, straighten your legs. And parallel your feet, bring your feet closer together, please. Pause and feel. If we do anything in this practice today, may we let ourselves feel deeply. Feel all the feels, like they would say on Jane the Virgin, one of my favorite shows. Coming to standing at the front of your mat, please. Either having your feet inner or outer hips distance, or some people, if you feel pretty free in the joints in the low back, might have their feet all the way together. Exhale. Breathing in, reach for the sky. Exhale and fold, touch the earth. Inhale, half lift, peer out into the world. Exhale, tone your low belly as you stretch back, downward facing dog. Breathing in, stretch your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale to step the foot by the right hand. This time, keep your back knee lifted. Hug your legs in towards each other as you float your hands up towards your hips and pause. Leaning forward a little bit here. And that'll help you lengthen through your low back, drop your tail. Some friends will stay right here. Other friends will start to come more upright, stacking the shoulders more over the hips and reach the arms toward the sky. And can you get more breath through the sides of the ribs, back of the ribs, where our adrenals are? The adrenals really can determine how we are in relationship to the obstacles in our body, the obstacles in our life. On your next exhale, pivot towards your left. Bring the whole sole of your back foot flat for warrior two. Extend your arms by your sides. So the hips are opening here, opposed to the warrior one legs where the hips are more square. Bring your right forearm to your thigh. Bring your left arm forward of the chest for a moment and use that as a way to draw your left shoulder blade on your back. And then keeping the shoulder blade on your back, extend the arm right alongside the ear. And as you press evenly through the feet, option to bring the right hand down to block earth. Side angle pose, this one's called. You might like to move the muscles of your face around here. Sigh sounds are welcome. Horse lips are welcome. I spend a lot of time in my practice vibrating my lips because I notice I hold a lot of tension in my jaw, the back of my neck, the back of my skull. Push down through your feet. Inhale, stand all the back up. Exhale to slowly straighten your right leg, but without locking out your knee. And bring your right hand down to leg, block, earth for triangle pose. Left arm to the sky. Imagine there was a wall behind you to lean back into. Breathe the sides of the waist, sides of the ribs back, throat back. And then as you pin the right outer hip back, spin the belly, the chest towards the sky, maybe the face towards the sky. Just make sure that that feels right for your neck. Inhale to rise to warrior two. Exhaling into peaceful warrior, left hand to the thigh, right arm to the sky. Now, more sensitive low backs, I would stay more up and down here, shoulders over the hips. Otherwise, as you turn the belly and the chest towards the right, leaning towards your back leg. You might be able to soften right down where the tongue meets the throat, where the skull meets the back of the neck. It's like right in the middle of the obstacle, we can soften inwardly. We can remember not to push anyone out of our hearts, including ourselves. On an exhale, plant your hands to the earth. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale to lower, shoulders moving up and away from the earth. Inhale to open up through your heart as you lengthen back through your legs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Wherever you are, take a deep breath all the way down into your hips. And as you exhale, let go of a sound, any sound. I find sound more than any other thing, and I'm speaking from my experience, helps me work with obstacles. It's almost like our body is a musical instrument, and it helps line up the chords. As and when you're ready, downward facing dog. Breathing in, stretch left leg up and back behind you. Exhale to plant the foot by the left hand. Put your hands up to your hips and pause. You might be leaning forward just a little bit here, or you might, like Raj is, leaning forward with the chest almost parallel to the earth. Notice how that brings a lot of pressure into your left leg. So act as though you're going to drag your left foot towards the back of your mat and press to the ball of the left foot like a gas pedal to help protect your knee. And then option to start to make your way more upright and reach for the sky. Feeling yourself as the meeting place between heaven and earth, between ground and cosmos, and the perfection of you in this moment, with all of your quirkiness, all of your strength, all of your pain, right here. Exhale to pivot towards your right, warrior two. Take a deep breath into your mid back as you drop your tail. Bring your left forearm to your thigh. Stretch your right hand forward of your shoulder. And then take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently lay the right shoulder on the back. One way that you've gone too far is if you feel like a pinching sensation or a strong sensation in the back of the shoulder. It's actually easy to overdo the kind of shoulder blades on the back motion. And then from there, bring the right arm alongside the ear. If you can keep the belly and the chest facing the wall, you might bring the left hand down to block or earth. I often say in class 4 million% optional. Today I'm going to say 4 billion% optional. Some of you remember Danny Murillo, who used to come to class. He is a prison advocate, and he moved to LA, and he had a really stressful job traveling around the United States to work with prisons. And I said prison advocate, so to be clear, freeing people from prison. Prison advocate sounds like a weird thing to say. But sometimes he would just show up to class and he would be in Shavasana the whole time. And that was exactly what he needed for those moments in his life. Inhale, come all the way back up to warrior two. Exhaling, triangle pose. Stay really rooted in the outer edge of the right foot. Sometimes I'd like to keep my right hand on my hip in this pose and drop my head towards my left shoulder to get kind of a nice neck release. So that's on the table or not. If you do that though, see if you can keep the left waist, left rib cage lengthening. Inhale, warrior two. Exhaling, peaceful warrior. Bring your right hand anywhere on your leg except for your knee. Then press your leg up into your hand. That'll help widen through your sit bone and clear your low back. Knit the tips of the shoulder blades into the back of the heart and lift the fierce beauty, the knowingness of your heart up towards the sky. Inhale here. Exhale, plant your hands downward, facing dog. We're going to do that whole flow a bit faster. And you might navigate the obstacle by saying like, oh, I'm going to spend the whole time in warrior two, or I'm going to spend the whole time in child's pose. Breathing in, stretch right leg up and back behind you. Exhale to plant the foot forward. Inhale, high lunge, reach up as you root down. Exhale, warrior two, hugging your legs in towards each other, calling upon the power of love that is you. Exhale, triangle pose. And full round of breath here. And just a reminder, when I say inhale, exhale, it's always your inhale, exhale. You don't have to kind of keep up or slow down to match my breath. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale to bend your right leg, bring your right forearm to your thigh, or bring the hand directly down to the earth and the left arm alongside the ear, side angle. Inhaling, peaceful warrior, right arm to the sky, left hand to the leg. Option to slide the left hand behind your back. On an exhale, plant your hands to the earth. Your vinyasa. That might mean coming back to a wrist stretch. That might mean holding a forearm plank. A repeating question we can use for building mindfulness of obstacles is, what is the wisdom in this? Even something as simple as our shoulder aching, or something huge, like we're not able to embrace, put our arms around someone that we love. We can ask that question and allow the answer to organically start to bubble up. And it may not come immediately. As and when you're ready, let's meet downward facing dog. Breathing in, stretch your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale to plant the foot by the left hand. Inhale to reach up, high lunge. Use the whole exhale to land in warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, triangle pose. Shift your hips towards the back of the room. Inhale, feeling belly, backs of the ribs, shoulder blades. Slowing the exhale down to 6 to 8 counts. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle pose. Left hand to block or earth, or left forearm to thigh. Exhale. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Feel the space between tail and heart. Feel the space between tail in crown. On an exhale, plant your hands to the earth. Downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the earth for a moment and take a look. We've been doing this little flow through child's pose, and I just want to show it and give some options. So we'll come through child's pose. I think I'll just show it once and then speak to it. And then we'll begin again from there. And the main options are, you might want to just stay low here. You can skip this whole crescent business, and also feel free to skip the plank and the chaturanga and the cobra. Are there any questions about that? I just unmuted you in case you've got a question.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, let's meet in child's pose. Inhale here. Exhale to walk your hands over to the left, staying low, or plant your left hand by your shin bone. Lift your chest, lift your hips, reach your right arm to the sky. Inhale, come back through child's pose. Exhale to walk your hands to the right, low or high. This is called crescent. Inhale, child's pose. Exhale, bring your knees as wide as your hips. Push off your feet and reach for the sky. And then inhale, bring your palms down the center line. Plant your hands downward facing dog. Exhale here, lengthen out through your bones. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale to lower down. Feel the vastness holding you above as well. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale here. Exhale to walk your hands to the left, crescent low or high. Your inhale, center. Exhale to crescent, right. Inhale, center. Exhale here, melting through the shoulders a moment. Inhale to come to kneeling, hips over knees, reach for the sky. Exhale, draw the palms down the center line, downward facing dog. Inhale like a wave, ripple to plank pose. Exhale to lower down, stay connected in your feet. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Oh, sorry, I meant exhale, child's pose. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale. Exhale, crescent left, Last round. Inhale through center. Use the whole exhale to crescent right. Inhale, center. Exhale to soften towards yourself. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Head's the last thing to come through. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, down dog. This time I said down dog and I actually did mean it. Inhale, stretch long through your spine. Exhale to walk or float your feet towards the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and bow. Push down through your feet in order to reach for the sky. Exhale, release the palms to your heart. Drop back into your intention. Pouring weight onto your right leg. Bring your left leg into tree pose. Now that might look like your left toes stay on the floor. Or you can bring the left leg up to anywhere on your leg except for your knee. Pressing the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. If the balance is wobbly, I've been noticing over the last 3 weeks that my balance is really difficult. You might keep your hands at your hips. Otherwise, reach your arms up toward the sky. You might keep your arms wide in a nice V. There's something about that for me really helps me draw my shoulder blades on the back, keep the chest open, or any other arm variations are welcomed. Now, this is going to be a long series with the right leg kind of recruited to kind of be on one leg for a while. So doing your best with it. Meeting the obstacles with mindfulness. Return your hands to your hips. Draw your left knee forward so you can keep the foot off the floor as you bend your right leg and step back to a lunge. As you hug your legs in towards each other, draw your palms to the heart. Inhale for length. Exhale to twist toward your right. You can stay more upright or hook the elbow on the outer right thigh. Just notice if you created a new obstacle for yourself. It's an interesting thing about humans. Sometimes we go too deep, we overextend ourselves, and we create obstacles that weren't there before. Draw your heart up towards your hands, lengthen through the back of the neck. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, plant your hands to the earth. Slide your back foot further in, and then straighten your front leg for pyramid pose and bring the whole sole of the back foot to the floor. Now you see Raj has her hands on the floor, either side of her front ankle. If many of us, it's too deep of a reach, so you can put your blocks either side of your front ankle. If you only have one block, I would bring it to your, let's see, I think the left side is a little bit harder to reach, or you can grab a hold anywhere on your leg. Each exhale, draw navel toward the back body, starting to stir up some of the blockages. Take a deep breath all the way down into your hips. And as you exhale, let go of sound, any sound. And step your left foot up to meet your right, please. Inhale, half lift. Your exhale, fold in. Inhale to rise, opening to new possibilities for this day. Exhale, release the palms to the heart. In honor of your Buddha nature, our Buddha nature. In honor of our nature of awareness and compassion. Make sure you're towards the front of your mat. And pouring weight onto your left leg, bring your right leg into tree pose. And once you feel steady, bringing the arms in any position that feels right for you. You might be starting to notice, what are some of your patterns for working with obstacles? Do you tend to bulldoze the obstacle? I'm trying to destroy it, to move it out of the way. Do you tend to flee, to run from it? Do you tend to go into freeze, kind of ignoring the obstacles? So one of the ways that shows up in our practice is when we keep moving or wanting to move, and we have difficulty staying in one place. Return the hands to the hips. Bring the knee forward and fortify around your left leg as you step your right leg back for a lunge. Inhale the palms to the heart. Exhale to twist, drawing your right hip wide and wrap it forward. What's clear about this life is we can't avoid pain. The Buddha said that, pain is going to be there no matter what, but suffering is optional. One of the ways we begin to work with pain is bringing our gentle attention to the pain and beginning to notice the quality of it, the depth of it. How does it want us to be with it? Slowly turn toward the earth. Slide your back foot in, planting the whole sole of the foot to the earth. And the back toes will spin out at about a 30-degree angle. Take a look at your hips, make sure they're moving towards square. And instead of doing that from kind of shoving your left side back, we're often taught to do that in yoga, instead create some space by bringing your right hip wide, like it was sloshing, like milk in a bucket, and wrap it forward. There's this saying in Buddhism that right in the middle of the poison is the antidote. Right in the middle of the poison is the antidote. And this is what we're training our minds for, is like right in the middle of the trance, right in the middle where we notice that we are at war with ourselves. Like we allow ourselves to go deep within our own being and roam. And I was talking about this last week, just learning to to be with all the parts of ourselves is the medicine. Learning to be with the obstacle, learning to respond instead of react is the medicine. Step the right foot up to meet the left, please. Inhale, half lift, unfurl. Exhale and bow to yourself. And come to laying on your back, please. And if you do have a cushion, a block, a book close by, have it close to your hips. Bend your legs, soles of the feet on the floor. Lift your hips up and away from the earth for a bridge pose. And if you'd like, sliding the prop right underneath your buttocks for a restorative back bend. Or if you'd like a more active back bend, shrug your shoulders more underneath you. Gentle squeeze of your buttocks as you isometrically drag your heels towards your shoulders. It's really important you don't turn your head in this shape to look at the camera or your kitty, whatever else is around, your partner preparing brunch. And make sure that there's space between the back of your neck and the floor. Where here could you soften inwardly towards yourself? And we can be with the strength of the pose, we can commit to the shape even when it's uncomfortable and still keep relaxing back, relaxing inwardly towards ourselves. If you're in the active back bend, release your hands and slowly lower your hips all the way down to the floor. And rest, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And draw your right knee up into your belly, stretch your left leg out long onto the floor. Either interlacing your hands behind your thigh or on top of the shin bone. Using the inhales to adjust. Using the exhales to relax the head and shoulders, to lengthen out through the bones, to deepen the shape. On an exhale, release your right leg. And inhale to pull your left knee up into the belly, grabbing behind the thigh or on top of the shin. Exhale to release. Either bring your arms out into a T, or a little gentler on the shoulders is to bring the arms into a goalpost shape. And slide your hips over to the left a couple of inches. Bending your knees and drop your knees over to the right. So hips to the left, knees to the right. And if there's space between your knees, you might like to bring your cushion, your book, whatever you've got in between your knees. Draw your low back in and up. only going so far in the twist that the left shoulder can release into the floor. Another option in this shape is to wrap your left thigh around your right thigh as if you were crossing your legs in a chair. One thing you might have noticed about these the deities in yoga, in Buddhism and Hinduism, they're often doing things with their hands or holding things in their hands. Like they often have lotus flowers. The image of Ganesh I showed, he has a fan in a lotus flower, and that's the dancing version of Ganesh. There's another variation of Ganesh where he's seated, and he's seated right next to a bowl of sweets, and he's got different tools in his hand. He's got a rope, an axe, and what's the last thing he has? Oh, my favorite. He has the goad, which is the thing that they use with elephants, a really cruel tool to get the elephants to do what they want. And please switch sides, bringing the hips over to the right. And so whatever the murtis, which means the images of the divine, whatever they're holding in their hands, represent the tools for navigating the path that we're on. And the axe represents our power to cut through delusion, to cut through illusion, kind of to separate between what's real and what's imagined. And the rope represents it's that Ganesh, he grabs obstacles and moves them out of our way and binds them. And then the goad I find the most interesting because the goad represents sovereignty, because he's snatched the very tool of oppression from the master, and it represents taking back our power. That obstacles have the power to bind us, and they also have the power to be the very vehicle of our awakening when we bring mindfulness to them. Come back through center, even out your body, and grab anywhere on the legs, backs of the thighs, outer edges of the feet. Perhaps gently rocking from side to side if that feels good. So we're going to do a little bit of breath work before we release into Shavasana, but please set yourself all up for Shavasana, so covering yourself in any way that feels good, supporting your head, your knees. And once you're all set up, bringing a light ujjayi breath back in. Each exhale, gentle tone of the back of the throat muscles. Make it just a whisper. Exhale fully. Inhaling slowly. As you exhale, exhale just halfway. Pause. And exhale all the way. Inhaling slowly. Exhale halfway. Pause. Exhale all the way. Inhale, filling the belly, the ribs. Exhale halfway. Pause. Exhale all the way. And continuing like that, your rhythm. And notice how we've deliberately placed an obstacle in the exhale. And what do you notice when you rest your awareness on that obstacle? And if you notice resistance, tightness, you might imagine that it was floating in awareness. Please finish the one that you're on and do one more. And let your breath be natural. Let your bones sink into the earth. Rejoicing that in this moment, there's nowhere to go, no one to be, nothing to do. Please begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Inviting in any other gentle movements that would feel good. And in your own time, bending your knees, rolling to the right. And pressing yourself up to a seat. Drawing the palms into the heart. And if you'd like, joining me in this sound current of connection, you remember that we are connected like a taproot, even when we can't see or hug each other. And we offer the benefits of our practice out to all beings everywhere. Take a deep breath in. Thank you so much. I put my email in the chat if you have questions or feedback. Also, if you are not on my email list and you'd like to be, feel free to